Let's go ahead and take a look at plotting points using polar coordinates. We're going to be using a radii value and an angle measure for our points. And you've been working with the rectangular coordinate system where you were working with an x value and a y value to plot the point on your grid. So kind of the same idea. We're still going to be working with the quadrants, only this time instead of an x and a y value, we're going to be given that radii value and an angle measure. So let's go ahead and take a look at part C first on this example. We're given the point 3, 0, and these are polar coordinates. So think of this as a radii value of 3, and our angle measure is 0 degrees. Now when you go to plot these, you're going to want to plot your angle measure first, and then you can go ahead and do your radii value. So if I come out here to my grid, I'm going to go ahead and label some units here on my grid, and let me go ahead and let 2 of these circles represent 1 unit for this example. Okay, so I'm going to come out to 0 degrees, which is going to put me right along my positive axis here, my horizontal axis, and I'm going to count out a total of 3 radii lengths. Now keep in mind I'm letting those 2 circles represent 1 unit. So here is my R value of 3, and I'm going to go ahead and plot my point, and I'm going to label this one C. Let's go ahead and do part A next. This one is the point 3 and 5 pi over 3. If you'd rather work in degrees instead of radians, this is the same thing as 3 and 300 degrees. Alright, so let's go ahead and get our angle measure first. We want to go to the 300 degree mark, which means we're going to be coming out along this radial line. Here's our 300 degrees. Right, and we want to count out a total of 3 radii lengths. So again, remember 2 circles here is going to be equal to 1 unit. So this is where I'm going to have point A. Let's go ahead and do part B next. This time we have 2, and our angle measure here, if we want to put it in degrees, is a negative 45 degrees. So keep in mind you want to plot your angle measure first, so we're going to be coming downward 45 degrees, which means we're going to end up at this positive 315 degree line. And we want to count out a total of 2 radii lengths. So point B is going to be located right here. And let's go ahead and do our last one, which is part D. On this one, we have the point negative 2, and this is a positive 45 degrees. So one of the first things you want to do is go plot our angle measure. So we're going to be going upward 45 degrees. So we're going to be looking at this radial line. And this time our radii value is a negative 2. So instead of counting out 2 radii length here, right, to a positive 2, we're going to stay along this same radial line, only we're going to count 2 units in the opposite direction because our R value here is negative. So if I stay along that line, here is 1 unit in the opposite direction, and here's 2 units in the opposite direction. And this is where I'm going to end up plotting my point for part D.